If you're not list building yet, I'm gonna bust through some of the biggest myths that might be holding you back from success, and we're starting right now. If you want to transform your website into a customer or lead generation machine, I'll show you all my best tips, tactics, and secrets to get there fast. Let's dive in. Hey there, I'm Wes McDowell, a web strategist for The Deep End, and if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and click on the subscribe button and the little bell icon next to it so you never miss another video you need to succeed online. So why do most marketing plans fail? I think it's because most businesses always want to go for that direct sale, forgetting that people do not like to be sold to cold. It just doesn't work. They spend lots of time and money on SEO to bring people to their website and then wonder why nobody's buying. Or they'll spend a lot of money on Facebook ads and maybe they'll get some engagement, but again, no one's buying what they're selling. Why? Because the way marketing works best is generally to gradually warm up cold audiences into hot leads over time, but there are many steps in the process. And the first step is usually to put that person onto your email list, and you need to be putting new people on that list every single day. And most of my clients are very resistant to this at first. They've got a lot of beliefs that are either outdated or just wrong that are really limiting their success. So in this video, I want to go over the most harmful myths that you might believe about list building and the truths behind them. And once you know the truth, you can make up your own mind, but I think you're going to see it my way in the end. Myth number one, it's all about social media. If I get enough social followers, I don't need an email list. Now this one is so common. Most businesses think that social media or even social media ads, like Facebook ads, have basically replaced the need for email marketing and list building. And while social media marketing is a great way to fill up your list with new leads, it's a terrible long-term replacement. And there are several reasons. First of all, you don't own your social followers. Whatever platform you're building these followers on can change the rules on you anytime in terms of how they're going to show your organic posts to people for free, as well as they can always raise the rates on you at any time for how much they're going to charge you for your paid ads. But once you have an email list, you own that list. And yeah, you shouldn't abuse it and spam your list, but you can pretty much market to that list however you want to. Second, people are much more likely to open and pay attention to your emails than they are to see or pay attention to either your organic social posts or your paid ads. People do still open their emails, and there generally is kind of an intimacy associated with it. And as long as you provide a good ratio of solid, helpful, useful content rather than just spamming them with promotion after promotion, people will actually start to look forward to your emails coming through. So use social media to fill up your list, but then let email take over, gradually warming them up over time. All right, myth number two, I'm not ready for a list. So maybe you're a new business and you don't really have a website yet, or maybe you just don't know what you would do with your list once you had one. You're thinking something like, I need an email marketing plan before I can start building my list. And that's just not true. The way I recommend list building relies on just having a really great piece of valuable content, a lead magnet, that you give away in exchange for their first name and their email address. And it's true, you need that content, but the truth is, you can research and create that within a weekend. And it can be whatever format works for you. It could be a written guide, it could be a checklist, it could be a cheat sheet of some kind, any kind of audio training or video training, anything helpful that answers a question that your audience has. But what you don't need to start building your list is a website. There are so many landing page tools out there like ClickFunnels or Lead Pages that let you just put up a simple page asking for the email address and first name, and then it'll automatically send out your lead magnet. You can even use a Facebook lead ad, which basically captures all their information right on Facebook, which means no website is required whatsoever. So if you're in that website planning stage, you should absolutely be building your list at the same time so that when you do launch, you have a list of people to promote it to. And that leads right into my next myth, which is I can't build my list until I have emails to send out. While it's extremely powerful to have an automated email sequence on standby ready to send out when people opt in, here's a secret. You can write them one at a time over time, and then just add each one to the end of the automated sequence. Now, I generally recommend sending out one helpful, valuable email per week to your list for as long as your typical sales cycle lasts. So if people only need a couple weeks to make a decision, you may only need 2 or 3 emails. However, if you have a more expensive service and people tend to mull it over for a long period of time, say 4 to 6 months, you're going to want to have a weekly email to cover that length of time. So have your freebie delivery email written, and that can be really simple and short. And then once your list building campaign is set in motion, then just write one extra email every week and add it to the sequence. So if you needed a total of 10 emails to cover a 10-week buying cycle, within 10 weeks, you should have all those emails written. Then if someone were to opt into your list, 6 months from now, they get that freebie delivery email followed by those 10 emails that have already been written. Then if someone opts in a year after that, they get the same series of emails. You basically did the work once, then it gets put on automation and you never have to worry about it again. Okay, the next myth is list building is too expensive. You might be thinking something like, I'm already building a website and a business. You mean I have to pay for more subscriptions and more things to add to my to-do list? Or you might be thinking, business isn't going so great. I don't really have the extra funds to throw toward this. Here's the thing though, every day that you're not filling your list up with new potential customers is a day you're losing money. But here's another thing, most of the services you need to build a list have free plans available as well. MailChimp is free up to 2,000 subscribers. You can always build a WordPress site, a really simple WordPress page for free. And Sumo.com and probably a few others as well offer a free email opt-in widget that you can put right on your site. And true, you may need to pay to get traffic to it, but you can really get started with Facebook ads for about $5 a day. And if you run a Facebook lead ad, you don't even need that website at all. The ad itself can capture your leads right on Facebook or on Instagram. Now, this next myth is one that can really be frustrating for people, which is, I need a really big list. When people first start list building, their eyes are like glued to that subscriber count. And every time you lose a subscriber, if you get that someone unsubscribed email, it kind of feels like you've been left at the altar.
I can't do this. What am I doing?
And I get it. I've been there. It's hard not to take that personally at first. But here's the thing. You're not after the biggest email list. What you're after is the most engaged list. So there's a lot of bad things that can happen if your list is full of, expired emails, fake emails, or just emails of people who aren't really interested in what you're offering. If you have a big list full of unengaged people, your open rates are just going to drop right through the floor. With a good engaged list, you could get open rates of anywhere between 30 and 50%. But if you have all those fake emails or people who aren't interested, it could be like 2 or 3%.
It just makes me want to set myself on fire.
So what good is having a big list if no one's opening your emails? Secondly, it costs you more money. Remember how I said MailChimp is free up to 2,000 subscribers? And then once you get to a certain threshold, they charge more. And then another threshold, they charge even more. So what you want is as small a list as possible that are really looking forward to your emails and actually opening them. I don't know about you, I don't really want to pay an extra $100 a month just to have the vanity metric of having 1,000 extra subscribers who aren't actually reading my emails. So what happens when you have all these emails that go unread? Basically, not only do you pay more money, it gets worse. If you send enough emails that don't get opened, suddenly your emails go undelivered at all. So what happens is, if you send enough emails that people aren't opening, the email service providers like Gmail will start filtering your emails out of the inbox. They can land in either the promotions tab or even worse, in the spam folder. And trust me, you don't want that. You want to be right in people's inbox where they're actually going to see your email. So it's best to really keep the list tight to people who are actually responding and opening and clicking. What I like to do is actually every month I go in and I delete everybody who hasn't opened any of my emails in the past 90 days. All right, the next myth is pop-ups won't work to build my email list. So say whatever you want about pop-ups on a website. Sure, they can be annoying, but they're there for a reason, and that reason is they work. And they're getting smarter all the time, which makes them actually less annoying. So let's say you've got a website, you need to be promoting the hell out of your lead magnet all over the website for all those people who aren't actually ready to buy your service or product yet. A pop-up can really work like magic to get more people on your email list every day, but you don't want it just going off like a loaded gun every time someone lands on your website. Instead, you want it to appear at the right time for the right people. And this is what I'm talking about when I say they're getting smarter. They're adding new options all the time. There's new technology that lets you set these things to go off when someone has been on your site for a specified amount of time, or when they've scrolled a certain percentage down the page, or when they've hit a certain element on the page. You can also do it for when people have visited a certain number of pages on your site, or once they've come back to your site a certain number of times. But my favorite way of using a pop-up is what's called an exit intent pop-up. So what happens is they're on your website, they're about to leave, they're about to bounce, and the browser can detect that their mouse is going back up toward the back button, and that's when the pop-up appears. Basically, you are already about to lose this person, so why not go for that one last-ditch attempt to get them back? It truly is 100% upside. But now I want to hear from you, and I want to know, do you have any limiting beliefs that are holding you back from starting your list building campaign? I want to know about it, so maybe I can bust those myths as well. So go ahead and leave any comments you have down below, along with any questions you have, or your biggest takeaway from this video. I want to know all about it. So if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and click on the circle icon right here to subscribe. And there's no reason why we have to stop learning now. I've got 2 more videos for you right here. YouTube seems to think you're gonna like one of those, and I think they're pretty smart. So go ahead and choose one. I'm Wes McDowell for The Deep End, and I'll see you in one of those videos.